Good morning, you guys. Or evening. I forget some of you watch this in the evening. It's morning for me. I have coffee. And I've only had 2 sips of it. Clearly. Anyways, today's plan is to get some roses cut back. I've got a lot of roses on the property and a lot of them still need to be cut back. I have to do this in my growing zone because we don't get cold enough for them to completely defoliate. And in order for me to help with not carrying over pests in my garden, I gotta defoliate all my roses. And for me, I'm a little bit late. This is about the time that you want to do it if you have to defoliate your roses. I'm a little late for my standards of getting this done. But the plan is just go to my roses, I cut them back pretty hard, and then I pull off all of the foliar growth on them. And it's pretty straightforward. I've gotten a few of my roses done. I haven't gotten them all done, so I still have a lot left to go. I want to say we have, let me calculate. We just counted. I think we're at 13, if we didn't miss any roses, which I think 13 roses on we're on just under a quarter of an acre. It's kind of a lot of roses for this area. But they're so pretty and I love them all. So I got to get them all cut back. That's the plan for today, is to finish getting my roses all cut back. It's very, very straightforward. Let me show you guys kind of how I do it. So this is a standard rose. So it is growing like this in a standard. So it's like a tree rose. And you can see it's rather out of control right now. And this is it being cut back a bunch. So what I need to do is, you can see, so this is where the graft points are at right here. And then it's come up and it's been cut here, and then it shot out, and then it's been cut here and it's shot out. I need to kind of bring this thing back in. It's a little chaotic. So ideally where I should be cutting is about here. And you can see, this is a graft point, or this is a growth point right here. And see this line? From that line is where another branch will come out. And whatever way this line is facing is where the branch will come out of. So you can see right here, there is a line right there. And see this little bud right here? That means that there's a branch that's going to shoot out that way. So you kind of need to be cautious of where you cut, because if I were to cut here, all of a sudden there's a branch that's going to go, it's going to go this way into another branch, which we don't really want. I do kind of want it to come outwards, so we would cut it here. But this branch doesn't look the best, so I'm going to kind of cut it. It's a little dangerous. We're going to cut it back here, because this is such a large chunk. It's a little much. So we're just going to keep cutting on this thing, making sure we're getting rid of anything that's spindly or kind of out of control. And we're just going to cut everything that's dead off. So another thing, this is a dead branch. You can tell because this is a live branch. See how it's got some color and some veinage to it? And then see how this is just brown, one color, and it kind of looks lifeless? That's a dead branch. So that needs to come out completely. And so here, I can see there's a node right here. So we're going to cut this one back to about here. And we're just going to kind of keep doing that, as I'm going to just keep looking for little growth points and just keep cutting back on this thing. It's pretty straightforward. I can see there's one here. So we'll cut that back there. I'm trying to give this thing a very deep haircut. It really needs it. It's been a few years since I've really cut hard on this thing. So this is going to get cut back hard. You can see this was one growth branch right here, and I had cut it off here, and then it grew here, and then it got cut off here. And so this is just a little bit, it's too much. So I'm gonna have to come in and I'm gonna have to rework this entire thing. So I started pruning on this before I really knew exactly what I needed to do on my roses. So I got my work cut out for me today. Okay, it's that easy. We're gonna move on to getting the rest of these roses pruned, and my lovely husband is going to clean up all the roses for me. So I'm just gonna cut and let everything kind of just drop to the ground, which he's got one glove, I've got one glove, we're sharing gloves so nobody gets stabbed today. thing to be mindful of when we are defoliating our roses is I'm coming through and I'm popping off all of the leaves that are on here. And you can see that this bud right here has already started to swell. So if I were to come in and if I were to cut off and I were to accidentally pop that bud off, that branch wouldn't grow there. So that's why I'm saying I'm a little late, because normally there's not really buds that are growing. Like you can see here, there's not really a bud that's growing. And so we're not typically too worried about it. So it's easy to come in and just pop off your set of leaves that are right there. Whereas this one right here, you can see that the bud has already started to grow and swell. So that means this plant is ready for it to be springtime. So I need to come in and I need to pull that off properly, like so, rather than coming in with my pruners and accidentally coming in and knocking that guy off, which I was doing earlier. What I was doing earlier was coming in and I was just cutting off all of the leaves. And what I risk doing is cutting off those swollen buds right there. So I don't want to do that. So if I'm coming through with my pruners, I'm making sure to be extra careful so I don't knock those off. I wanted to show you guys this. This is really cool. So I just brought back the hydrangeas and I pulled this off my rose for you guys to see. So see all these little cuts out of these leaves right here? I think it's super interesting. This is actually from a bee called a leaf cutter, and leaf cutter bees are so important to have into your garden. They pollinate incredibly well, but they do some damage to your plants. I think it's worth it. I've only ever noticed them going after my roses, which I don't mind, but this is what they do. They make their little cocoons where their babies are, and they make them out of leaves. And so they come in and they just gnaw off these little like circles out of your plants, and they fly away with little cuts out of them. So they normally don't do too much damage, at least for me, not enough for me to even care, especially if they are pollinating my garden. We've gotten most of the roses done. I have 2 left to do. This is Royal Jubilee right here. I always forget who it is, but I have these beautiful new plant tags down there that remind me of which roses I do have. This one, if I was smart, I would move it. It only gets morning-ish sun. So if I was smart, I would cut it back, and I would cut it back very hard, and then I would move it. Keyword, if. Now let's get to cutting it back and not moving it. is how you cut back roses. It's not intimidating, it's not scary. It is very, very easy. This rose actually only has 2 canes, so there's 1 cane there and 1 cane there. I usually prefer my roses to have like 3 to 5 canes. This one has 2. And I think that's due to improper pruning over the first couple years that I had this in the ground. I just kind of let it do what it wanted to do. This is the first year this one is getting a hard prune back. It needed it. So hard prune back, this rose should actually perform beautifully this year. Basically what I'm coming and doing is I am mimicking winter. A frost has come, a frost has came, stripped off all of the leaves. It's making it rest for just a minute, and then it's going to push out all new beautiful canes, and it's going to bloom very profusely. So it should be good. We are now going to head 15-20 minutes up the road, and we're going to go pick up some stones for a little project that I need to do. So I'm going to take you guys with me today to go pick up the stones, but you'll have to come back for a different video to see what happens with those stones. Look at what that rose bush did to my house. I just noticed all of that. That's from it rocking in the wind. The branches hitting the walls. I'm gonna need to come and clean that off. Anyways, let's head to the stone yard and we're gonna go pick up some slate stones because I got a pathway I want to do. I'll show you guys where it's gonna go. And today off camera has been kind of a cleanup day. I came in, cleaned up the Helen von Stein really badly. This is my pile. Cleaned up some of the Dusty Miller I have here, and then I came in and I did clean up the Hakonakloa that was back there, and I did cut back the Japanese anemone. Just kind of as I was like working my way down to roses, I just kind of like stopped and grabbed a few things. But also, look, this is so exciting. My hellebore is coming up so strong. It's such a beautiful time when hellebores come up, and like columbine when it's starting to grow. That's how you know spring is here, and that's how you also know that I'm late, because I've got hellebore there, and look at this hellebore, it's blooming. I'm late to the game. All of my spring cleanup should have been done a while ago, but it wasn't. Whatever, hellebores are blooming. That's an exciting time. So, Japanese anemone got cleaned up, and then here is where I want to do the pathway. I've talked about this before. I've got this like mirror doorway arch thing. I'm growing some vines up it this year, and I think I've got some sky pencil hollies. I think I want to plant something that's immediately taller and not wait on those to get big. So I think I want to find something that's tall to go here, that's big, like right now, big impact. And then right here is where I want to do the walkway. So it's a walkway that leads to technically nothing, but I think it'll lend to the idea of this being a working walkway. And so I'm coming in with some metal edging along this entire walkway here, but I'm going to leave this open right here. And my plan is to do metal edging up to the door on both sides, and then throw some slate down here. And I want to grow some like creeping thyme or something like that in between the walkways. And so it's going to be a slate walkway right up to the doorway that leads to nothing. So we're going to go pick up the slate stone today, and I thought I'd take you guys along with me for that. Okay, so this is where we usually get our stone from, and I think this is the one that we have in the front yard. It's 36 cents a pound. Yeah, this looks like it, because it had some of these like orange pieces on the top. This is the multi-class quartzite, and it's $490 a ton or 36 cents a pound. And so what I did last time was I just kind of came through and I picked out pieces individually that I wanted, and then they load it onto a pallet and they weigh it, and then you just pay for it per piece. Or you could just buy the pallet, which I don't need a whole pallet. So I'm going to go through, and I think that they will just have us load some pieces that we want up on a pallet, and we'll take these home. So you actually are changing your mind. We're going to go with this one, the quartzite, 36 cents a pound. They have bigger stones here, and the ones that we were looking at were all kind of broken. So if we wanted to get the same ones, they would be like small stones, and we don't want that. All right, we've gone through, hand selected all of our stones from the pile, which has been really nice. And they're gonna weigh this, and then we will take them home. And so that is gonna be it for this video. We're waiting for them to weigh our stones, but I found this. What if I bulk buy my mulch this year? Look at how pretty this mulch is. This is the mini mulch, and it looks just like the mulch that I love, and it's small, and I could totally see all my garden beds just like this. and then I can buy it in bulk, and it saves me so much money. They also have a ton of different other options for mulch, and then they also have like decomposed granite, Clayton DG, which is kind of what I was looking at. So like there's decomposed granite. The problem with decomposed granite is that they don't let water through, but I kind of liked the color of this one. Let me get in here. It's super muddy, super slick. But do a walkway like this, that's not bad, right? I don't know, I'm not mad at it. This is the Clayton DG. They got a million options here, so if you're in need of things, check out landscape companies like this. All right, we ended up spending $149 for all of our stone. So that is going to be it for this video. Check out Riverside Landscape if you're in the area and you need stone or mulch. I will be coming back here for mulch this year. I think that's gonna be a way better deal. I didn't get the price on that, and I probably should have. Anyways, thanks for visiting our garden, cutting back roses, and coming on a little adventure with us. I'll see you all in the next one when we place the stone. Bye, guys.